What's up? What's up? Welcome into another episode of Betting with the Bag. Unfortunately, you got me today, man. I'm the host for today's late show. We know Jimmy got a few little personal issues, so we hope everything's going well with Jimmy, and I'll be glad to step in for him anytime I need to, man. So let's get to some cash today, man. We got my guy Max in here today. What's up, Max?
Nothing much, Jay. Just banging out these college basketball games. Been up early, been watching games since early. There's games right now that are trying to steal my attention from you and the low baggers, but I'm focused, I'm ready to go, and I'm hoping to build off yesterday's really nice day.
Right, yeah. Well, I know you're gonna keep it going, man. You're a guru when it comes to this college basketball. Yeah, I'm watching Marcus Howard going off, man, for Marquette. They on USC ass right now. They had got about 30 points, man. That was pretty crazy there. Let's welcome in the chat, man. What's up, James? We got Nasty Nate, Dear Slayer Ski. What's up, Kenneth Whitaker? What's up, John? I can't say the last name. We're just gonna call you John L, man. I don't want to butcher your name. What's up, Robert Kahn? Joe Anisis. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Even in Jimmy's absence. And like I say, let's get to some college basketball cash, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, and y'all hit that like button, man, and tell everybody, hey, to come tune in with us, man. So, what you got any of these early games you looking at, Max?
Well, I only made one official pick on Twitter for today so far. Trying to be a little more selective with that. And I've been getting fooled by a couple of these steams on these line movements, especially on these totals. I don't want to start bringing up certain games that bring me frustrating feelings, but I'm definitely trying to see where my mistakes are, adjust my power ratings, and really try and avoid some of these, what I call them, total traps. But the first game that I want to talk about, and the game that I posted just recently on Twitter, was the Cal State Fullerton under 132.5. This is a game where obviously it's going to be played on a neutral court, and I think that we have to take advantage of two teams that aren't very efficient offensively, aren't very good from the free throw line. And Denver, coming off a dismantling by the host Santa Clara, I think they're going to be more prone and want to play a slower pace game where they're going to be able to try and win with defense instead of trying to shoot up with Santa Clara, which did not work last night. On this Denver team, excuse me, I can't really say that I'm impressed with any particular piece of their personnel, but David Nakawazi, I like him on the glass as he can stay on the floor without foul trouble. He's not necessarily going to give you a standard offensive performance, but someone that can stand in the middle, someone that can get a rebound for you after a long possession. And at 6'9", 240, he has the size and frame to do so. And then this Fullerton team, they just don't shoot the three very well. They want to slow the pace down. They don't want to have their depth tested. They'll let guys play with fouls. And I think that when you have Austin Akawasa and Wayne Arnold, I think that you have two decent scoring pieces. The play that I made was on the under full game. That's my stronger play. But I also did bet Fullerton -3.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, what were you thinking on that Denver and Cal State Fullerton on the side? I know you're liking the under there for the under 132.5 is official play. I was gonna ask you there what side was you leaning towards on Denver. So you're not liking Denver in this one, you'd rather go with Cal State Fullerton?
Yeah, no, I'd rather go with Cal State Fullerton. From what I've seen through the body of work, they played really good in the first half versus BYU. Stayed, definitely could have got blown out a lot worse against Stanford and could have mailed it in. And then the win against Wyoming was definitely a quality win on the road. So this Fullerton team has shown me that they can play some ball. It just matters about what type of opponent they're going up against and what type of pace that opponent's going to run. And I think tonight against Denver, who wants to run a slower pace, it's more in tune with Cal State Fullerton's offensive prowess, not having my fellow Canadian Jackson Rowe in the lineup.
Right, yeah, and that 132 and a half is still available. So it looks like we can give you that 132 and a half. Looks like it's 132 at other books, but we'll still give you that 132 and a half is still available. Looks like at Five Dimes and Bookmaker. So we'll go ahead and give you that. Did you want to just go to the next game? If that's the only one you have official right now, right, Max? So you ready to go down the line?
Yeah, I am. I just want to pause one thing, and I say that there's one game I'm looking at the live menu right now. I'm looking at North Florida. They've been behind the whole game. Tennessee State's really put a nice defensive performance on them. They're down by 9. This is the money line spot that I'm looking to get on. And if I see North Florida go to plus 10 or plus 10.5 on the live spread, I'm going to jump on it, and I will be sure to let everybody know, because that's the only spot that I really see. You could get on Charleston right now. They played good in the first half. Providence seems to be shook, and the front court seems to be a real weakness from what I watched in that first half. 3:30 right now. It's a little too early for me to get on it. Same with North Florida, but once the 10-minute mark in the second half pops up, that's when I will start to really get aggressive with this.
Yeah, well, let us know, man. Let us know if you're gonna make a live play. I might have to ride with you on that, man. That's the point of this show, man. You know, today we got some games going off early, so you got a chance to get to some second half bets, some live plays. Anything that you see, man, let me know. I want to go ahead and ask you about the first game that we got coming up. It's looking like UAB visiting Kentucky over there. Kentucky laying 19 and a half. It's looking like it opened at 20 and a half, down to 19 and a half now. What you looking at in this side, Max?
Yeah, this is a spot that I don't have a bet on. My lean would be towards Kentucky. I do understand that Nate Sestina is out of the lineup, but you do get EJ Montgomery back, and then you pair him with Nick Richards, and I think that you have a solid front court combination. You're not going to play EJ Montgomery more than probably 20 minutes. Obviously, he's working his way back, but my concern is in the backcourt with the point guard situation. Ashton Higgins and Emmanuel Quickly have been combining for a lot of turnovers a game, and I can't handle that. These are guys that are on the floor with the ball in their hands. These are the guys that are going to decide whether we cover the spread or not. And eventually defenses are going to figure out how to double team Tyrese Maxey and not leave someone open on Kentucky for an open shot or an easy way to the rim. The only way I look at this spot is Kentucky. I think that the Lamar win and cover definitely got them on the right spot. They hit their free throws. They play good three-point defense. And I think that, yeah, that's how I look at it. From a total perspective, I don't have an edge. My line was pretty much on par with what the opener was, so I stayed off of it completely.
Right, yeah, with all these games, man, we don't have to bet every single one. I know you're a volume better, but still, you like to pick your spots, So every single game doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna have an angle on it, or mean you like it enough to put your hard-earned money on it. So sometimes you just have to pick your spots. I could definitely see why you're staying away from that one. That's a lot of points to lay there with Kentucky going against a 4-1 team and UAB there. Let's get to the next game here. We're looking at Fairfield versus Davidson here. Davidson opened up a minus 13. Now they're sitting at minus 12. The total still sitting around 125 and a half, 125. Did you have any look on this game, Fairfield versus Davidson, Max?
Yeah, this was something that I bet on my own personal accounts overnight at plus 13.5 when I saw Fairfield. What Fairfield has done this season, they pull teams into rock fights, and teams like Davidson, they want to run and gun. They don't want to have to get into a grinded out type of game, in my opinion. I think that Davidson definitely showed in the Marquette game that they do have some added depth in Carter Collins and Mike Jones that are getting some run now. So Luka Frampton and Luka Brakovic aren't getting run out 30 minutes a game. I think that's key for this Davidson team. I think obviously there is a significant advantage when you can make your free throws and you can get to the freaking rim at almost 50%. Davidson definitely has some value from a parlay perspective as an add-on on the money line, but from a spread perspective, giving them plus 12, plus 13 points. It just wasn't something that I saw myself getting on, knowing what I've seen from Fairfield and how frustrating they can play against decent offenses. So we saw a perfect example against USC. We saw it against Maryland, and I think that we're going to see it again tonight. I would be looking towards the under. It's not an official play, but I've already bet Fairfield plus 13.5.
Okay. And you say you didn't. I understand if you don't want to make an official play now. It's just down. It's looking like it's minus 12 across the market, 11 and a half at bookmaker and Heritage. So you didn't make that. You didn't want to make that plus 12 official play.
No, not with losing 2 points of value. Listen, whenever you take a dog, you're always getting that backdoor ability to cover, and I think that's going to be beneficial in this spot. I'm not going to tell someone not to take the 12 if they have an edge leaning that way, but just from a value perspective and from where the line has gone to where it was, I can't officially take that pick.
Right, I like that point. I like that point there. Yeah, they looking like Fairfield could be the play there, plus the points here on a neutral site game. Might have to look a little bit deeper into that one, man. So let's get into the next game, Max. We got Iowa State versus Seton Hall, man. It's a little bit of a heartbreaker for Seton Hall there, up all those points versus Oregon, and Oregon come all the way back and win that game. I know you were happy because you had got. I think I saw you tweet out Oregon live plus 300, plus 320. So that was a real nice casher by you, man. They come all the way back and beat Seton Hall. What did you think about that? And do you have a play on this Iowa State and Seton Hall spot?
Yeah, that was a fantastic spot. We've seen from Oregon that they do have some comeback ability. Obviously, it didn't work out today against North Carolina, but definitely a nice read. And you can find value on favorites when they're down, and you see that plus price on the live line. If you see them being able to claw back and being able to exploit a defensive weakness. It happens all the time. Tale of two halves in college basketball. As far as the Seton Hall Iowa State game, I was on the wrong side of the Alabama game yesterday. I took Alabama, hit on the over. Simply for me, this is a game where I think that you're going to get an intense defensive performance from Seton Hall. They're not going to allow Iowa State to score 100 points on them. And from what I've read and from what I've watched in post-game interviews from Coach Willard literally got in Miles Cale's face in the locker room at halftime, demanding that he wanted a better performance, basically bullying him into playing with more intensity. He comes out of halftime, hits a couple buckets, gets on the floor, gets a couple loose balls, and he's getting the Desi Rodriguez treatment. I think that is going to play dividends tonight. We have to highlight the size advantage that Seton Hall has. We have to also have to recognize that this is a game that neither of these teams were expecting to play against each other because they already have a non-conference game scheduled, I believe, on December 8th. I think tonight Seton Hall wants this game bad. Miles Powell comes out. We get a better performance from him. He was sloppy last night with the ball. The shot attempts and the shot selection was poor. I think we get a good vintage Miles Powell performance tonight, and I think that Iowa State gets put back down where I think they are, and that's not someone that we should be betting on.
Exactly. So you don't have a look on this game whatsoever, even on the total. Max, I know you say Seton Hall's going to come to play defensively here. You leaning towards the under in this spot?
I look towards the under 100%, but Seton Hall is an official pick in this game. If I can get 2 or 2.5, I'm going to take that for the show picks.
Well, you can definitely get 2.5. It's looking like you can get the plus 2.5 at Five Dimes and plus 2.5 at Pinnacle. So whichever you can get that. Let's look like you can get plus 2.5 minus 108
on Seton Hall.
Oh no, on Seton Hall. Yeah, on Seton Hall minus 2.5. I'm sorry, minus 2.5. Minus 106 at Pinnacle.
Yeah, I will take that. I like that. That works for me.
Yep, Seton Hall minus 2.5, minus 106. Man, I might have to ride with you on that one. So, why do you think that spread's coming down? It looks like it's open. It opened at -4, Max. Why do you think people betting on Iowa State here?
Well, I think it's just money that's moving it. I can't really. I don't want to put too much emphasis on why the line is moving that way. I think that there's a team that we just watched struggle against a weaker opponent, but still able to cover a big number. They looked bad, but they played well on the box score. That's the misrepresentation of their performance. The performance wasn't good. The result was from a spread and betting perspective. But from what the coach said and what the body language watching the game from the bench was, that they weren't happy with what they were getting and they want a better performance tonight. And this is a perfect opportunity opportunity. You want to let Iowa State what they're going to have to deal with when they play each other in December. So this is a spot situationally where I got to take the better team, and that's Seton Hall.
Exactly. I could definitely understand that. And I do think Powell will be the best player on the floor. And one more thing I did want to ask you about this game, Max, is looking like you can get a -2 at Bookmaker, -2, -115 at Bookmaker and Bet Online. Would you rather that over the 2.5?
No, I'm going to take the 2.5 because I don't think that the half point is hopefully going to play a difference. Hopefully I don't mush myself, but I'd rather take the -106, pay the little bit less juice, and move on from that because in the long run, that juice is going to add up and it's going to make a dent in my overall profits.
All right, and so for official play, we're gonna go with the Heritage line, man, because that one's actually -105, man. All these cents and pennies matter, man, when it come down to it. So we're using Heritage for official lines. We're gonna give you that -2.5, -105, man. It's all about line shopping, and that's the best line that's out there for our Seton Hall tonight. Is that
I
cool
like
with you,
it.
Max?
Let's do it.
All right, that's cool. That's cool, man. So my guy Max, Seton Hall -2.5, -105 at Heritage's official pick versus Iowa State, man. I'm gonna ride with my guy on that one as well. Let's get into this next game. We got Tennessee versus Florida State here. Well, a spot where you got the where Florida State is favored over the ranked teams. Tennessee, the number 17 team in the nation here. It looks like it's open. It opened at -1.5. It's up to 2 now across the board. You got Florida State here -2. Are you agreeing with this line move here in Tennessee versus Florida State, Max?
Listen, I'm questioning why this line is moving the other way. I think that first off, you gotta take note of the fact that Florida State's going to play a lot of different guys at you, so they're going to try and tweak the lineup to suit what you're doing well against them or what they're able to do against you. I think that seeing this Tennessee team live, I saw them play against the Washington Huskies. I'm really impressed with Yves Pons and John Fulkerson. I think that these guys are efficient with their shot attempts. They're good at passing out of the low block. They can attract a double team or two once they show to a defense that they are capable of scoring and getting to the line. And I think that when you have Lamonte Turden and Jordan Bowden in the backcourt, I wasn't impressed with them preseason, but seeing them with my own eyes live and seeing how they get to their spots and how they repeatedly go to that spot on the court to get their shot. That's smart shooting. That's smart offense to me. And I think that they're going to be able to have an advantage. The only thing that I'm worried about is this is a game that's playing. It says it's a neutral site game, but it's actually being played north of Tallahassee. So it's going to be a lot of Florida State fans. But from what I know about Tennessee fans, talking to a whole bunch of them, Tennessee fans travel. Tennessee is going in. They're winning tonight. And the ranked team is going to be the right team. So I'm taking Tennessee. I'll take them on the spread for show record purposes, but I took them on the money line for my own accounts.
Right, I like that. I like that. Well, it's looking like you can get. It's looking like Tennessee is +2, -105, -105 at 5 dimes and at Heritage. So we're gonna give you Tennessee +2 at 5 dimes, man. I like that. I like that too. I can't say yeah, I'm with you on that one. Yeah, hey, just if you're gonna take it personal, just might have to look towards that money line. But it is sometimes good to, they could lose a game by 1 or 2 and then it'd be a push. So there's been times where I took the money line, they lost by 1, and I was wishing that I took that 1 point, man. But for the majority of the time, if you like them that much, they should win the game straight up. So Tennessee -2. Did you have any look on the total in that spot?
I'd be looking over. That's the only way that I'd be looking at it. 135, that's a number that I think that they can get over. If it's a tight game, it could come down to free throws. And from what I've seen in Leonard Hamilton, whether it be a losing situation or a winning situation, he has no problems making dumbass calls and advancing the clock. So at that kind of number, also respecting the line move on it, seeing that it opened at 132 and going up to about 135, I'd be agreeing with that line move.
Exactly. I was just about to say that's almost a 3 point line move that one is in is open at 132 and a half up to 135 now. So yeah, it's definitely looking like the over. A lot of people are liking the over in this spot, and Max is leaning that way as well. Let's get into this next game. Max, another team that pissed away a game yesterday, man. Penn State versus Syracuse. Man, I was on Penn State yesterday and it was looking good. They were about 20 points with about 8 minutes to go, man. You look back at it and then they just piss it all away, man. What you thinking about this game, Penn State versus Syracuse? You think it's a letdown spot for Penn State after yesterday, Max?
Listen, it's definitely a deflating loss when you have a collapse like that, but Syracuse ain't coming off no shining performance either, you know. With Buddy Boeheim and Joe Girard combining for 5 for 22 from the field, and the only person capable of scoring with the ball in his hand was Elijah Hughes, you got problems there. The fact is, this would be a perfect get right spot for Penn State, but considering how Syracuse has been anemic, and it's really come down to the opponent, the way I'd be looking is Penn State or pass. I'm not going to be betting on the game either way, though.
And what about that total? Open it 137 down to 135. We know Syracuse like to run their zone the defensive schemes. Are you leaning towards the under in this spot, or you stand away from the total as well?
Well, it really depends on what type of 3 point shooting you can get over that zone. If you can get some 3 point shooting over that zone early, then you're going to have a lot more advantage to throw it in the middle and break it and really try and penetrate the bucket. But as far as guard play things goes, I think that Penn State's guards have more athleticism than Syracuse, so they probably can beat off the dribble, but it's going to come down to passing vision and court IQ. And with Penn State's collapse and like that, I won't credit them with a lot of good court IQ.
Exactly. You always wonder what's the team mindset, man, after blowing a game like that. Like I say, up 20 late, and then you end up losing that game. It's pretty tough to come out and have that same intensity the next day. It's either you're gonna be super pissed off, or you're either still gonna be mopey and down on yourself after losing that game yesterday. So we'll see what Penn State brings to the table in this spot. Like I said, it opened at 2, is moving up to -2.5 across the board in this spot. Next game we got here is Maryland Eastern Shore versus Delaware. We got Delaware laying a hefty price here, -20, -20 and a half. Did you have any looks on this game, Max?
Oh, hell yeah, Jay. I love me some Blue Hens from the CAA. And Delaware, they're a team that they've been putting money in my pocket, haven't even had to really think about it too much. And this is a spot that they're playing a really crappy Maryland Eastern Shore team. I will give them the credit that they did play tough for a half for Stanford. They played tough for a half versus Oklahoma. But this is a team that I cannot be backing on the spread, even at a 20-point number. Delaware's been doing it for me. I love Nate Darling. I love the combination of Kevin Anderson and Ryan Allen. It's just going to be about Colin Goss. He's playing 24 to 27 minutes in the front court. He's shooting anemically, 16% from the free throw line. I think less than that from the 3-point line, but he doesn't shoot that many threes, so I don't put too much credit to that. The free throw shooting is my issue because you got to have everybody on the floor that can make a shot when you need to cover a spread. And this could be a situation tonight that if Delaware doesn't start fast, that we are literally having our asses clenched trying to get over this number. But with Delaware, the way that they treated me on the spread, the way that they dismantled Stony Brook, I don't see why they don't take this opponent as seriously as they did, put them out early, and coast to a wire-to-wire victory and cover. So, Jay, if I can get 20 points or 20 and a half, I'll make it official. It's already something I bet, and I feel very warm and fuzzy about it.
Yes, sir. You can definitely get Delaware -20 at -20, -105 at Bookmaker right now. So it's looking like it opened at -21, but it's down to -20. And yes, sir, you can get -20, -105 at Bookmaker for the Blue Hens. They're 7-0 on the season and facing the team that's on 7, on 6 on the road so far. So I mean, it's looking like it could be a blowout here, Max. Well, obviously Max is liking for it to be. He says could possibly be an ass clincher, but hey, if he's taking a -20, he's thinking it's going to be a nice little blowout here. So you just liking Delaware -20, no look on the total on this spot.
I did bet a small play on the under, but that was just a correlated play with the spread. I think that in the majority of cases, from the games that I bet when it comes to mid majors and low majors, if you get a blowout, you get an under. So.
Exactly. And Pinnacle does not want you to bet the under. They have it under 129 and a half minus 121. And Bookmaker has already moved down to to under 129 at minus 115. So it's looking like it's on the move down to the under. And Pinnacle's, it's a leading indicator. They don't want you to bet that under, not there. So there could be a sharp call there by you, Max. Let's get into this other spot, Max, where me and you were talking about earlier off the show, off the air, Winthrop and Duke. We know Duke just come off that home loss to Stephen F. Austin, a game where I was watching, man. It's by the fingertips, right at the buzzer. This guy let off that layup, man, and beat them boys in their house. That was pretty crazy there. Some tells me Duke gonna come out absolutely pissed in this spot, man. And I'll tell you guys, I took Duke on the first half, man, minus a 14, and I think they're gonna cover the full game as well. This is one where you come out, see how they do in the first half, and then I think you take them second half as well. I don't see Duke letting up in this spot, man. They had a little scare. I think they finna blow the brakes off of Winthrop here. It was not a bad team, but I just think this is a bad spot for them, man. What you thinking on this game, Max?
Yeah, there's a lot of really talented college basketball cappers that think that Winthrop can hang within this number, that Duke doesn't deserve the respect of laying this number. But like you said, situationally, losing to Stephen F. Austin outright, not losing, I think it was like 8 years or something since they had lost the game at home. I could be completely off. It was either 8 or 5.
No,
One of
you're
the two.
right. I
We'll
think
move
you're
on from
right.
that.
It was 8 years, Max.
It was 8 years, okay. So losing like that and not even being able to foul the guy and stop him from breaking through at half court was astronomically embarrassing. I think that if Duke is the play tonight, you have to take them on the first half, and then you have to readjust based on the second half line and the live line. I don't think that it's a safe spot to take Duke full game, in my opinion. I think that the people that are taking Winthrop are taking the higher percentage play, but I'm a guy that watches a lot of games. I'm a guy that eats the numbers. I am like living and breathing what these guys are doing, and I want Duke to fail, but I just don't think they're going to. First halves is where they had their advantage. Winthrop has been a slow starter, and I don't think that we should put that much stock into Winthrop beating St. Mary's. I don't think that that's big of an impressive win. It may have been an impressive ticket for people to cash, but as far as that, no, I don't think so. And when you have, in my estimations, a 15-point advantage in the first half, I'd be looking like that if I'm going to be getting on Duke at all. So, Jay, I agree with you there.
I appreciate it, man. I did already bet it. So are you gonna do you want to make it official with me, Max, or are you gonna stay off of it?
Jay, I'm actually going to make it official, and I'm going to get into solidarity with you, and I'm going to have to bet it also. So let me write
You know
it
what?
down first, and you'll give me some juice, and then I can actually bet it.
Yeah, let me find this first half line, man. I know I got it at the minus 14, so it ain't gonna be too much far off that. Yep, minus was looking like you could get to minus 13 and a half, minus 110 is what we can give you
I'll take
at
it.
5-9.
I think that's a
Yeah,
I think
minus.
that's a better number than I
Yeah, it
have
is. You
in
got
front of me on
better one than I
Pinnacle.
did, man. Like you say, we think they're gonna be up by 15 at the half though. First half minus 13 and a half, minus 110. Okay, got you. Yeah. Hey, I wish I could have got that 13 and a half, but it's all good, man. If I win, you definitely gonna win. Let's get to it. I think they're gonna come out and bust them. This is a Duke spot, like you say. Winthrop usually starts up slow. Let's cash it, man. I think they're not gonna let their foot off the gas though, man. They
Oh.
can't afford to at the house again, Max as well. Man, they're gonna come to play here. They're gonna come to play here today, Max. I'm glad you're right with me. Did you have any look on the total in that spot? You think Duke? We know they're gonna score some points. You think they come here and lock down on defense? How does Winthrop look? You liking them defensively in this spot?
Yeah, Winthrop isn't a really high scoring team, but it's the number that this game is at. I'm used to Duke home games being in the range from like 149 to 157, but we're seeing a 140, and like that's just a number that is just weird for me, Like one of the books that I use, Bet365, they have the under juice at plus 100 to under 140 and a half. And it's really tempting. I think that I think I'm going to bet it because it just seems like a spot where Winthrop is not going to be able to get into a 3-point shooting contest with Duke. It's not something I feel strongly enough to play, but I do see that I have additional game totals on it, and that's where I think that the better value is. I think that if you can stomach taking under 139 and a half, you can get a plus 110 price, and I think that's a good opportunity. I think that's a good spot with the number with where it's been to cash.
Yeah, Heritage has 141 and a half minus 110 if you wanted to under, and it's looking like Pinnacle has the over 140 at minus 122. So it's looking like it's all over the place. Pinnacle over 140 minus 122. Five Dimes has 141 minus 110. Bookmaker 140 and a half minus 110. So it's all over the place here. But like I say, the Heritage, if you do want the under, that's the best spot though. If you wanted an official play on it, under 141 and a half minus 110.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna lay off the total for official play purposes, but definitely gonna ride with you on the first half. And I've already bet it. I had to pay a little bit more in juice for that 13 and a half. I had to pay minus 120, but it's all good. I got a bunch of different accounts, and I'll just start hammering them up and open them up so I can get the best of the lines.
It's all good in the hood. Hey, sometimes where you have to take that juice, it's not something that you want to do all the time. But hey, if you win, I guarantee you won't be worried about that damn juice, man. But let's get into this
Yeah,
next game, man.
absolutely.
We got Merrimack versus Akron, Max. And you ready to get down to this one, man? We got Akron here laying 12 points. I know you're not. I know Merrimack is not a stranger to you. You've been betting on them this year. Are you taking them here plus the points plus the 12 versus Akron?
Yeah, this is a spot where I didn't have really a good edge on the side, but I was looking towards the under full game. Merrimack plays zone. They don't have a lot of good size. And with Lauren Christian Jackson leading the charge at the point guard spot for Akron, this is a solid point guard that plays good on ball defense. He is a little bit undersized, but when you have Tyler Cheese and Chanel Banks, I think that you have some decent players to give outlet passes to make sweet passes to. And I think that that's what we're going to get from this Akron team tonight. Listen, I think that Akron is underrated and they're quite talented. They do have 4 double-digit scores. They do have multiple guys coming off the bench that are contributing offensively. And what they do, that is one of my favorite things, are they hit free throws. Tyler Cheese and Lauren Christian Jackson are both 85% free throw shooters, and Xarius Williams is a 94% free throw shooter. So in the end of the game, I want guys that are going to be hitting free throws. And if Merrimack's trying to backdoor cover this game and they're fouling Akron, well, if you got that type of free throw shooting, they're not going to be able to come back unless they hit threes. And Merrimack is not a 3-point shooting team. They're going to try and slow this game down with a zone. They're going to take opportunities when it comes to transition, running with the ball. But in the end, I see Javaris Hayes being locked down on defense by Akron's perimeter defenders, and I think it puts that much more expectation on Irish Joyner and Jaleel Lord to lead the scoring offensively. And plus, Merrimack, if they get into foul trouble, they lack the depth. And then they got to run guys out. So you can lose intensity with Merrimack just because of the foul situation and the depth issue.
Damn, man, you sold me on this shit. Shit, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I've never bet on Merrimack. I've never watched any of their games. Before this year, I'd never even heard of them, to be honest with you. But I did know Akron team. I know Akron plays some good defense. So hey, you sold me on Merrimack. You say they play good defense. So you're liking the under in this spot. Bookmaker don't want you to take the under. They got under 134 at minus 133. I don't know who the hell gonna take that shit, but and then Pinnacle has under 133 and a half at minus 20 minus 125. So they don't want you to take that under. It's looking like a Bovada, a book where I use, hey, they got 134 under 134 at minus 110 if you want to make that an official pick. It's looking like and
Yeah, I would
133 and a
actually.
half at five
Absolutely.
dimes as well.
Yeah, I'll make that an official pick, Jay.
Yeah,
It's
and I'm
another
riding
number that
with
I
you on
can
that
bet.
one, man. Hey, you sold me on that one. Let's see, Merrimack versus Merrimack and Akron under 134 at Bovada. I like it. Minus the 110. Yep, I'm riding with you on that one, man.
Let's
Definitely
do
got
it.
to. So you say no bet on the spread. Would you not liking Merrimack in this spot plus the double digits points?
No, I don't like them on the spread in this spot. I think that Akron with their free throw shooting is the killer if it's close and they're trying to backdoor it. So
Right, I could definitely understand it. I could definitely understand it. Well, let's get into this next spot, Max. We got North Dakota versus Florida Gulf Coast. Gulf Coast land minus 3.5 here in this spot. You liking Florida Gulf Coast to get it done over North Dakota?
I like Florida Gulf Coast when they're a dog against FAU in a rivalry game. I don't like Florida Gulf Coast tonight. I don't like Florida Gulf Coast laying the points even at home. This is a team that even if Sam Gagliardi comes up and contributes offensively with Zach Scott, it just doesn't inspire me. This is a team that relies on playing defense, and I think that the University of North Dakota, they're not going to be relying on shooting a three, which is what Florida Gulf Coast does best at stopping teams from doing. I think that both these teams are a little shaky at the free throw line, and I think that I'd have to give the edge to North Dakota. I think that they played a better quality of opponent. I think that Florida Gulf Coast, the way that they get slaughtered by St. Louis in the opener, the way that they lost in heartbreaking fashion to UMBC when they were up and they blew and coughed up the lead, it just doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. And then if you want to look back a little more recently, you saw the VCU game and they just could not make a goddamn shot. They did okay on the glass, but even finishing -5 on the glass against a team like VCU is not going to be beneficial to your wallet and to your bankroll. I think that North Dakota is a spot to play in this game. I'd be looking at the spread. I respect a lot of guys that are taking the money line tonight, but it's just not a spot where I'm that adventurous. It's either North Dakota on the spread or it's a pass for me, and it's a no. It's a no play on the total.
Yeah, well, that's saying something to me, man. And it is does seem like the sharp side. I mean, open at -4. I mean, because you got Florida Gulf Coast that's here at the house, and North Dakota where they're 0-4 on the road and 0-4 ATS on the road, and yet the spread is which is already low, and open at -4, and then coming down to -3.5 for Florida Gulf Coast. So it just dropped to 3 at bookmaker. So it seemed like there could be a sharp play, Max, from you for North Dakota. You don't want to take them. You want to take them as an official play. It's looking like you can get the Let me see it. North Dakota's. Yeah, 3.5. No, I'm sorry. That was a different game. They dropped to 3. I'm sorry. I thought we got lucky there, man. Yeah, it's 3.5 across the board. 3.5 across the board for Florida Gulf Coast. So you didn't want to make an official play for North Dakota plus the 3.5 in this spot.
Yeah, no, not on this spot. This is a spot that I'm going to bet myself, but I'm not gonna be pushing other people onto it.
Gotcha. I can definitely understand that. Some that you feel some on, but you probably gonna play it a little smaller, so you don't want nobody to go out there and hammer it. Them how they think, oh no, you told me this to max out North Dakota. No, man, we say it's just small play, man. Just small play. Let's go to this next one, Max. We got Holy Cross facing the team that you just mentioned, Florida Atlantic. We got anywhere from it's looking like Pinnacle has it at -14, but you get a -12.5 at 5 dimes. So it's looking like Pinnacle's they really liking Florida Atlantic here. Are you liking them as well, Max? Florida Atlantic and Holy Cross?
No, I'm not liking them at all. I think that this Holy Cross team is definitely a different team than they were last year. They play with a little more pace, aside from the Fairfield game. But everybody that plays Fairfield plays at a slower pace than they want to. They want to get up and down the floor a little more. They definitely have the personnel to do so. This is a team with some balance, but obviously you have some guys that are holdovers from last year that didn't transfer out, like that traitor Jacob Granderson, who went to Illinois. But I'm impressed with Drew Lauder. He's averaging 16 points a game. He's shooting close to 80% from the free throw line. He's playing a significant amount of minutes, and you got balanced scoring behind him. You got six guys that are averaging between 8 and 11 points, and on any given night, you can get an exploited matchup and take advantage of that. Plus, we can't forget about Matt Faw, the senior holdover, playing in the front court. He's starting. Him and Austin Butler are still there. Obviously, Austin Butler needs to improve his three-point shooting. It's been quite poor, and his free throw shooting has been outright just porous, and I've literally wanted to slap him with a goddamn 2x4. Luckily, I can't do it through a screen. But what my play is in this game is simply what conference goes over the most? The Godfather of Volume says it pretty much every day on his podcast, the Patriot League. Where's Holy Cross play? The Patriot League. What do they want to do? Up the tempo. What do I want? I want the over 135.5 if it's still there, Jay.
Yeah, yeah, it's still there, man. Pinnacle does not want you to take that over, man. It's 136 and a half, minus 119 over there, but we're gonna get you to minus 130 and 135 and a half at Five Dimes or Bookmaker or Bovada, whichever one you listeners out there have. You can get 135 and a half over Holy Cross and Florida Atlantic. So that's what my guy is on, and that's what we're making an official play. We're going up and over the total, man. 135 and a half. That's what I'll get you. Let's get into we already went into this Denver and Cal State Fullerton spot. So Max, next one we're gonna do is the Missouri State and LSU Tigers, man. It's looking like it's minus 13, minus 12 and a half at Bet Online here for LSU. You think they get this job done versus a tough Missouri State team?
So this is a really simple cap. I like LSU long term, but we're talking about November. The season ends in March. Tonight, this is a situational spot where I think that Missouri State rises to the occasion. I know a lot of people like this, but they like it for different reasons than I do. The reason why I like Missouri State is the emergence of Gage Prim. This is the JUCO transfer power forward who brings energy, grit, rebounding, ball distribution. He can poach a steal or two. He doesn't commit he commits a bunch of turnovers. I'll say that about him, and he's a little aggressive when it comes to defending in the low block, but as a wide body and a guy who can get his shot wherever he really wants, he's a guy that makes such a big difference for Missouri State. I think tonight he plays a critical role in whether they cover or not cover against the likes of Emmett Williams and Darius Days and company. I think that Missouri State stays under the number. I'm not going to say that they win and be brazen and brass balled like that, but I do think that Gage Prim entering the lineup gives Missouri State that other element. If you get Jared Riddler back, I think that adds another element to the front court and three-point shooting. But for me, it's Missouri State on the spread or pass. And as far as the total, I'd be looking at the under, but I feel like it could sneak over if it's a close game, being in this low 140 range.
Right. Yeah, it's the totals all over the place. It's ranging from 137 and a half up to 139. It's looked like it opened at 142. So the under could be a sharp play there. You can still get at bookmaker, that's where it's 139, it's juiced to 135. But Bovada still has an under 138 at minus 110 if you guys are liking it. And Missouri State, you can get plus 13 on that game if you like, Max. Did you want to get the plus 13 on Missouri State? You're mute on, Max.
This is not an official show pick, but I played it on my accounts. I feel strongly about it, but I just want to try and pick and choose where I had my biggest edges based on my created lines, and then on my capping, and then on my validation by other people I respect in the industry.
Right, definitely understand that. Definitely understand that. My guy Missouri, leaning. My guy Max leaning towards Missouri State plus the 13, but we're not gonna make it official. We're just gonna make it a lean right now. Missouri State has only played one true road game, so we'll see what happens in this spot. LSU is at the house there. Let's go. We got a pretty big game here on the next one. Max, Iowa versus San Diego State opened up at 2.5 for San Diego State, moving up to 3. San Diego State 7-0 on the year, man. We'll see here what Iowa has to bring to them. But what you like in this spot? You like? You think San Diego State is the spot?
Oh, hell yeah, Jay. I got my bow and arrow. I'm looking for that Hawkeye in the air, and I'm going to bring that effer down, and I'm going to eat it. That's what's going to happen. Aztec is going to shoot a Hawkeye down, and they are going to eat that tonight. What we saw from San Diego State last night was an absolute salivating performance. I was drooling at the mouth watching Matt Mitchell and Malachi Flynn play defense on one end and then take it the other way, whether it be penetration or the three-point line, with ease. Matt Mitchell was dropping threes from the top of the circle like he was in practice. It was a wonderful display of college basketball, and I look for them to build on it. They are still underrated. They are still undervalued. People are not giving their defense the respect that it deserves. On paper, the names are great. I love KJ Fagan. I like Malachi Flynn. I like Jordan Shackle. I like Nathan Mensah. There's value with this team because this should be a 6-point, 7-point line. Forget that Iowa beat Texas Tech last night. Texas Tech couldn't hit a goddamn shot. Texas Tech couldn't stop Iowa's Jordan Bohannon from getting into the paint. And if you let someone get into the paint, well, you better be able to defend without fouling. And Texas Tech wasn't able to do that. You get a different animal in San Diego State tonight, and I think that San Diego State comes a little more prepared, a little more aware, and they cover 3 points.
And I'm riding with you. And you can get the -3, -105 at Heritage, Max. So it sounds like you want to make that one official.
I would like to make it official. I could barely get the words out of my mouth in the right order to do so.
No, you good. Hey, I'm riding with you on that one, man. That's we got people in the chat saying that's their best look of the day, man. Ronnie Christie, a guy who's always watching on my show, jamming with Jay Money, man. He say San Diego State. This is my favorite look of the day. Hey, we all on it, man. I'm rocking with you on this one, Max. Let's get this cash tonight, man. I'm riding with my guy in college basketball. Yeah, it's only Pinnacle has it at -3.5. We know that's one of the sharpest books out there. Everybody else sitting at -3 right now, but best line is at Heritage -105. That's what we're going with. We're gonna go to this next game, Abilene Christian versus SMU, man. Not too far from my house. I could probably go to this game if I wanted to, man. It's probably literally 15 minutes away from me, man. SMU, they balling this year, Max. It's looking like was -15.5 at Pinnacle, -16.5, 5 dimes and bookmakers. Spread starting to go up here for SMU. And we know it's a little in-state rivalry here. Which anything you liking in this game, Max?
Oh, Jay, yeah. First off, if you're 15 minutes away from watching a college basketball game, I am goddamn envious of you being in Canada. I had to wait 3 months for a freaking James Naismith Classic to come. Then I had to take a subway and walk out in the freezing cold to get to the arena to see the games. So I'm extremely jealous of all of my fellow American friends because they get to enjoy the sport that I absolutely love. And I always say, Jay, I was born on the wrong side of the border. They kidnapped me and brought me to Canada for the free health care. And you know what? I want my college basketball instead. But as far as this game, this is a spot where I was looking at SMU. I want to get on SMU. I love the addition of Kendrick Davis. Kendrick Davis and Tyson Jolly have combined for 1 turnover in their most recent game against Hartford. And I love a backcourt that doesn't turn the ball over. But like you said, this is an in-state rival. This is a team where Abilene Christian's led by Peyton Ricks. Peyton Ricks wants to come in and he wants to dominate. The problem is, how are they going to match up up against SMU size in the front court with my Torontonian Scarborough represent Isaiah Mike in the lineup at 6'8" with a decent three-point shot. I bet SMU. I know it's not the right way to approach it statistically, eye test wise, result wise, box score searching. The game says that Abilene Christian's going to hang within the number, but I'm just a little too smit with SMU to have laid off, and I may have made a square bet. I did one last night with Texas Tech, so this may be another one tonight. But I'm not going to make it an official pick. But I will make what I will make an official pick, Jay. I'll take the over in this game.
You know what? I like that. You making me want to go to this game too, man. I know SMU once they got that TCU transfer over there. I know when they announced it that he was gonna play, the team was real hyped up over there. That was their first game versus UNLV, their first real test, and they went and handled that with no problem whatsoever. I'm with you, man. I'm thinking I'm the same way. You look at the numbers, you would think that Abilene Christian they can be pesky in this game and can keep it close within 10 to 12, but we know that SMU is the much better team, a much more athletic team. And in theory, they should be able to come in and impose their will here. We know that doesn't always happen in college basketball, but in theory, it should happen here. It's looking like you can get an over minus one. You can get the over at 129.5 minus 110 at Bookmaker. Everybody else has 130 and Pinnacle has 131. So the best number out there is over 129.5, Max.
Oh, I'm down with that. Listen, I'll point out Albion's had trouble scoring against Division I opponents without overtime, but we're not talking about them scoring 65 points. We need them to score like 55. We need them to score around 50, and then we can allow SMU to romp all over them and let them know, hey, Mustangs roll, Albion Christian, whatever's go down, whatever. I had a better line, but then I had a 420 moment, I'll call it.
Yeah, man, I have a lot of those. Moments, man. You crazy, man. Yeah, but let's get some cash. I got liking the over, and I might have to ride with you on the SMU that one, just so you're not on your own. I think they're gonna bust them up too, man. And you know how it is with the in-state rival. You gotta want to blow them out to show, hey, look, everybody else gonna go to Abilene Christian. Y'all come to SMU. Obviously, SMU a much harder school to get into, but still, man. We know that they should want to beat up on their little brother here. Let's get into this next game, Max. You got UNC Wilmington versus Boise State here. Boise laying a little hefty price here, Max. Minus 14.5. Looks like it's minus 14 at Pinnacle, 14.5 everyone else. You think it's too many points here for Boise State to be laying?
I think that it is. I'm not a Boise fan. I think everyone knows that I hate Derek Alston from his Houston high school basketball days, and that hasn't changed. I hate that son of a bitch. Every time I watch him play basketball, I'm like, get injured, fall. Someone punch him in the face. But as far as betting this game and from like an objective perspective, this is a Boise State team that's definitely going to have to score the basketball against UNC Wilmington. UNC Wilmington plays decent defense, I would say on par or better, especially perimeter defense. You got some decent pieces in Kai Tays, who's really has a great story coming from Japan, working his way, convincing his family to allow him to pursue his dreams in D1 basketball. And it's a great story. I think that Jay Esteem coming off the bench provides a lot of good leadership. And I think that this Wilmington team can rise up. They did play tough against University of North Carolina. They did play tough against Campbell, winning that game in overtime and then costing me some money by winning by 5 instead of letting me cash at 4.5. The win against FIU was impressive, but then I also think about that really embarrassing loss against Cleveland State. So in this spot, I'd be looking at the under. That's what I'd really be feeling, as not really as much on the side. I'd be looking at Wilmington if you twisted my arm and put a knife in my ribs. But if I were to make a play on the show for official record keeping purposes, it would be the under full game.
Okay, well, you can get the under. It's looking like minus. You can get the under minus 110 at minus at 138. If you want, did you want to make it official, or did you want to go ahead and stay off of there with Max? So you want to go make it
No,
official
I'm
the
gonna.
under UNC
Yeah,
Wilmington?
no, Jay, I'm gonna stay off of it, and we'll just talk about maybe one of the more shiny, fancier games, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, I would just, yeah, that's what I would do, Max. Just say the ones that you feel super strong on. Hey, if you just got a little lean towards it, you just say you like it, and we move to the next one. But I can tell you, I'm looking at UNC Wilmington in that spot, man. I think that's too many points for Boise. I'm not saying I'm a total non-believer. I think they're a decent team, but I just don't think they'll totally get up for NC Wilmington. I think it's too many points. I think Boise win this game by 8 to 9 points, man. I think 14 and a half is too many damn points. You can get 14 and a half. It looks like Bovada Heritage and Bet Online, man, and Bookmaker, man. Give me UNC Wilmington in this spot, man. I think they tripped out on that one. So that's gonna be my play on this game. Let's go to this next one, Max. We're gonna try to speed up the pace just a little bit. Marshall in Florida here, a game where I asked you, I told you I like the under in this spot. You told me if I could get it somewhere around 136 to hop on that under, and that's exactly what I did. I took the under 136 in this game. Anything you liking in this spot? And I know you also told me there was too many points for Florida to be laying.
Yeah, this is just too many points for Florida to be laying. Listen, we saw a really good 3-point offensive performance from Florida, but listen, you're going against Marshall, and when you got Jansen Williams and Iron Bennett, you got two big dudes that can body up on Keontae Johnson and Blackshear. You get Blackshear into foul trouble, you got a good shot. And you got guys that can score the basketball. Tavion Kinsey, he's a 6'5 combo guard. He can shoot, he can score, he can distribute. He's coming off a 14 assist game against Howard. And I think tonight they rise to the occasion against Florida. Florida has to cover a 20-point spread before I lay that number with them. I think that they're an improving team. I think that we're seeing my Canadian Andrew Nemhard, point guard of Team Canada, coming on. But from a consistency and from a body of work perspective, Marshall was the play that I made. I hit them as soon as I saw the line at 21, and I completely agree with you, Jay Money. 135 and a half to 136 and a half. That was my breaking point, and as soon as I saw those numbers, there we go. Let's go. So I won't take Marshall as an official pick just because it's at 19 now, and I'm losing too much value based on what I betted on earlier today.
Exactly. Yeah, and looks like the total, the best you could get, the under 135, 135 and a half, Max. So did you want to make that under, or you want to stay off of that one as well?
No, I'm going to stay off of it completely for the show record purposes.
Okay, got you. But me and my guy Max are liking Marshall plus the points and the under in this spot. You have lost a lot of value with the under. You can't even there ain't even any more 136s out there. But if you would like to get Marshall, I bet you can get us plus 19 and a half right now. And I'm with him. I do think that there's a lot of points for Florida right now who are kind of struggling right now. They've had some good quality wins, but this could be a tad bit of a look ahead spot. Marshall isn't a total pushover. Let's look at this next spot, Max. UC Davis versus Utah land minus 17. We got a total of 134 and a half to 135. Any looks on this game?
Yeah, I bet Utah. I took them 16 and a half. Simply as this, I don't believe in Ezra Manjon leading this offensive attack for UC Davis. He's a freshman. He's one of 3 double-digit scores with Matt Newfield and Joe Mooney. And I just think that they're going to be outmatched. I think that Utah's coming off a disappointing trip across the country in that Charleston Classic, whatever tournament they're playing at Coastal Carolina's gym. 2 out of 3 losses. I think they come home tonight. I think that they smash somebody in the mouth, and UC Davis is going to be the one. UC Davis or pass. I like Utah from the free throw line. I like their shooting from the field, and it's just about improving that 3-point shot.
Okay, so you say you say Utah or pass in this spot. I know you say you got them at minus 16 and a half. No official play on this. Well, yeah, the 16 and a half are gone,
no
man. So it's
only
17s on the board. Now you stand away from this one as an official play.
Yeah, I am definitely.
Got you. So my guy, he liking Utah minus the 16 and a half, but they're not out there anymore. If you still like it, he's leaning towards the minus 17, if anything. Let's get to this next game, Max. One where we've seen a lot of the line movements. I know I did. UCF versus Pepperdine. I know I saw it last night. At Pepperdine minus 1.5, and then this morning, UCF -1. Now you seeing minus 1.5 popping up. It seems like the sharps liking UCF. Do you agree with the line move? move, or you think that the wrong team is favored here? You like in Pepperdine?
Yeah, no, I think that Pepperdine gave their best shot to Arizona last night. And I think that the areas that I was hesitant to bet on them because of they improved. Colby Ross took care of the ball. Skylar Chavez shot the three ball fantastically, and you got a good performance from the Edward brothers. Tonight, though, I think they're going up against one stingy goddamn team in Central Florida. And I think that Central Florida finally got a decent game out of Dejon Engram, even though it was a bad shooting performance. It was defensive. It was the distribution. It was the defensive rebounding that was more impressive to me. I think Central Florida is a really stingy team. They're a team that I like to go against on the first half. I like to back on the full game, and that's what I did here. I took Pepperdine first half. I took UCF +2 right as it opened on Sportsbet, which is the book that I use for all my opening bets. And right now, with it being as a favorite, I like it, but I don't want to pay the juice to make it an official play.
Right, I can definitely understand that. So you still like UCF? You think UCF wins this game, though? Correct?
Oh yeah, I think UCF wins this game. I don't think that Pepperdine has two shots in their load to go up against that. I think that there's definitely a letdown in opponent, and I think that UCF takes advantage of that. Just like they sneakily covered against Penn last night. They're due for a win.
Exactly. Yeah, I might have to ride with you on that one. UCF. That's definitely one that I was looking towards. I needed to see what you wanted. I was wanting to see where you were thinking first on that one. And real quick, any looks on the total? I'm leaning towards the under now. We know UCF can play some stifling defense. What you thinking in this spot?
Yeah, you want to give me a total with UCF in it, and it's in the 150s. I'll take that under 150, no problem.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking, man. I looked at, I'm like, what the hell they tripping on? That's definitely got to be a look right there. Let's get to this next game, Max. We got to look like about 8 more games. You see, Morgan State versus Ohio State. They're laying Ohio State like you can get -27 at Pinnacle, or if you like in Morgan State, you can get plus to 28 at Bovada. Did you have any look on this game?
Yeah, no look on this game at all. My lean would be to the under, and then I would take the points with Ohio State, but it's a square play, and it's not something that's going to be bet or make my board tonight.
Right, yeah. The way that one's lying, they think it's gonna be a blowout. You see a low ass total like that, 130 with a big favorite. They saying that Morgan State is not gonna score a lot of points in this spot, which we know they're not very good. So I would be looking towards that as well. I like to see in those type of games how Ohio State comes out in the first half. They come out playing like they want to play in that one, then maybe take a look at them and second half. They come out lethargic, then you'll see who to bet now, and especially early. Let's get to the next game: Coppin State versus Montana. We know Coppin State been covering the shit out these spreads. I don't think they covered that last game, Max, but they've been covering the shit out them spreads. And Montana, I know they lost a lot of talent from last year. They're laying minus 12 here, 12 and a half. Did you have any look on this game? Are you taking Coppin State once again in this spot?
Jay, my guy, I love Coppin State tonight. And not only did Coppin State cover last game against JMU, they won by 16 as a 9-point dog. This Coppin State team, with the emergence of the Robinson brothers, adding to DeJuan Clayton and Kamar Knight, is exciting. And I don't understand why they're lying double digits. First off, I'm making this play official, +12, and I'm going to make it also my play of the day. I don't believe in the ability of Kendall Manuel and Saeed Pridgett to be a double-digit favorite even at home. I think that with Timmy Falls and Saeed Pridgett, you got at least 7 turnovers between the two of them a game, and they're seeing 35-plus minutes on the floor. There's depth issues with this Montana team. I think that they're going to be relying on those 3 guys that I just mentioned. I think that Coppin State is just built to freaking cover double-digit spreads. And when they got a tall guy like Brendan Medley Bacon in the middle at 7'1", keep him on the floor, let him protect the rim. And I'm telling you, Coppin State is going to get us another ticket before the books sharpen up tonight.
Yeah, hey, they 5-1 ATS on the road, and like I said, I know that they've been covering the shit out in spreads. I pay attention to college basketball too, man. I know a little stuff, a little something about it too, man. Coppin State been covering the shit out these spreads, and Montana has not, man. They 1-3 ATS, man. So I know Montana been struggling. I'm not like you. Why the hell did they land double digits here? I think they just continue to disrespect Coppin State, but I'm not. I don't know why Montana is landing his points. They're not the team from last year, man. I think these bookmakers looking at shit from last year or something, man. You can get plus 12.5 max at 5 dimes and at Bovada at -110. That's what I put you down as, and I'm hopping on with you, my guy. Talk me into it. I'm not a big fan of Montana this year, man. They have not been playing well whatsoever. And if they do win this game, I don't think it'll be by double digits, man. Give me Coppin State as well, riding with my guy Max there, plus the 12.5 at Bovada. Next spot, Max, we got Alabama and Southern Miss here. Alabama favored by 11.5, -12, got a total of 147.5 in this game. Did you have a look on this spot?
This was a spot that I'd look at Alabama and the over, but I didn't dig hard into it and I didn't bet it.
I can understand that. Hey, real nice and sweet from my guy. He's leaning towards Alabama in the over. That's the only way he could take it if you're looking towards his views on the game. The next spot we got VCU versus Purdue of Virginia Commonwealth. They've been playing well here. Purdue's the favorite though in this spot, -2 across the board. Any look on this game? Is a pretty big game, Max.
Yeah, this is a pretty big game. I would have to go with the dog in this spot, but I think that it could be a reversal of fortune. I think that VCU is definitely going to have trouble with Purdue's length. When you got Aaron Wheeler, you got freaking Matt Arms, you got Trevion Williams, you got Evan Boudreau, all those guys are 6'8" and above. VCU's not going to have the advantage lengthwise that they do on other opponents. I think, though, VCU has to be the spot just because with Devontae Jenkins, with Marco De Silva, like there's a lot of good pieces on this VCU team, and they are definitely up to the challenge. I think that they're going to be up for this game. I think against Purdue on a neutral court, they have an advantage. I think that this should be a pick 'em. I think that this line is incorrect, and the values with VCU. But because it's a big game and because the money and the tickets are heavily on VCU, I'm going to not make an official pick, and I haven't bet the game at all to begin with.
Yeah, I didn't bet that one either. It's always crazy to me when you see a ranked team that's the underdog in this spot, and VCU is 6-0, and you got Purdue that's 3-2, and they're favored by 2. So obviously we know that a lot of people are gonna just see the records alone and bet VCU, but Purdue could be. I mean, I think what Max is trying to tell you here that Purdue is favored for a reason in this spot, and it's a neutral site game, so they're saying that they just quite frankly think that Purdue is the better team in this spot. We'll see. These are the type of games that I love to watch. Maybe look for a in-play spot here. Let's get to the next game. Another nice little game. Ole Miss versus Oklahoma State. Ole Miss, they the ones that screwed me over yesterday. Came all the way back versus Penn State. Can they do it again? I mean, like Max always said, they already shot their low yesterday. Do they have some left in them, man, to come in here and beat Oklahoma State? You got to look in this game.
Yeah, this is a spot that I'm line watching right now. I'm waiting for the line to move one way or another before I make a play on the total. And I like Oklahoma State in this spot for the exact reason. I think that they got their best game out of them coming back. I think that Oklahoma State is on par with Ole Miss. I think that they do have some offensively efficient deficiencies, but I do think that Oklahoma State is able to grind out the win tonight versus Ole Miss. But it's not a spot that I've looked into hard, and like I said, I'm line watching, waiting to see if I get an edge.
Right. Okay, I got you, Mason. So we almost out of time here. Looks like we got like 5 more minutes, Max. We got like 6 more games. You want to go rapid fire on these last 6? We got Grambling State versus Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara laying a lot of points here, -14, -15.5 versus Grambling State. We got Longwood Pacific, Cal Hampton versus Cal State Bakersfield. We got Texas Tech versus Creighton. Texas Tech lands 6.5 there. Utah State versus St. Mary's. I know you got to say something about that game, Max. That's a pretty tough one there. St. Mary's land -3 versus Utah State, and then we got Pennsylvania versus Arizona. Arizona land -12 over Pennsylvania. And then the last game of the night, San Francisco land 4.5 versus Hawaii. Did you have any looks on these late games or want to make an official play?
Yeah, so nothing on the Pacific Longwood game. The UC Santa Barbara game, nothing just because you missed the bets of the line. I was leaning towards UC Santa Barbara. I don't understand why this Cal State Bakersfield number has gone up to 9.5, but I'm going to look at it more after the game, and I will be looking at to find a way either first half or full game on Hampton. Texas Tech and Creighton, I'm not going to play tonight. I don't know what the status of Jahemus Ramsey is for Texas Tech. If he doesn't go, that offense is even worse. And then I look a little harder at Creighton as an underdog money line winner tonight. With the Penn Arizona game, I'm not going to make an official pick on it at all. So the only official pick that I want to make is in this Utah State St. Mary's game. San Francisco and Hawaii is a stay away. If I'm down money at the end of the night, then I'll bet on it, but chances are that won't be the case. So let's just quickly talk about this Utah State game, Jay. Obviously, the line opened at 5. It's been bet down to 3. A lot of money's come in on a lot of tickets have been coming on Utah State, but the money seems to still be on St. Mary's. In this spot, I look at it simply from this. This is a revenge spot. You're revenge, Jay, and this is a revenge game. What am I meaning? St. Mary's lost to Utah State by 17 points last year. Similar rosters. Now you have Aaron Menzie, the 7'3" center from Seattle, being worked into the lineup. Marcus Magnuson also. You got a lot of decent pieces on this St. Mary's team, and I think that even without Namus Keita for Utah State, St. Mary's has to play lockdown perimeter defense regardless. They got to stop Justin Bean and Kuba Karowski from doing anything on the glass, and I think that tonight we see the big men for St. Mary's really inflict their power on it, and I think that they want to win this game. I think they remember the game from last year. Similar rosters, like I said, and I think that this is a spot where we get on the right side with St. Mary's, even though Utah State is the favorable dog. I will also point out that there is an ankle injury concern for Sam Merrill, and if Sam Merrill isn't in the game and he's not playing at 100%, I don't want to be part of the dog.
So are you wanting to make St. Mary's -3, -105 an official play?
Yes, please.
All right, so we got St. Mary's -3, -105. You're right, I am revenge game, Jay. Utah State, this is one of those spots where I was telling you guys where you got the ranked team that's on the road. Their first road game of the season. They are 7-0 so far, but they hadn't played any road games. Their first road test. It's always a tricky spot to be in. I was wondering why St. Mary's had opened up at -5, down to 3 now, but that's the reason why they're the favorite. Max just let you know the inside info. It's a revenge spot. Like I say, they're at the house favored against the ranked team. That usually is a leading indicator that it's the right side. So I'm gonna ride with my guy as well there with St. Mary's. And no, you can actually it's actually -101 at -3 at 5-9. So did you say that injury concern was for St. Mary's or on the Utah State side? Real quick, man.
Yeah, it was on the Utah State side with their best player Sam Merrill with an ankle injury. If it was an arm or a wrist, maybe that's a little more manageable. But when we're talking about legs, that's jumping, that's running. So that plays a big difference.
Well, hey, I'm rocking with you on that one, Max. So just to recap the full game plays before we get out of here, I'm sorry we couldn't get to the chat today, guys, but we went through every single game. Max let you know what he likes side and total. So, hey, I mean, you could. I wouldn't say that, but you shouldn't have had any question, man. We went through every single game to all the official plays from Max. We got Cal State Fullerton under 132.5. We got at -110. We got Seton Hall -2.5, -105. We got Tennessee +2, -105. We got Delaware -20, -105. We got Duke first half minus 13.5, minus 110. Merrimack and Akron under 134, minus 110. We got Holy Cross and Florida Atlantic over 135 in the half, minus 110. San Diego State minus 3, minus 105. Abilene Christian and SMU over 129 and a half at minus 110. Coppin State plus 12 and a half, minus 110. And St. Mary's minus 3, minus 101. And I'm going to ride with my guy Max on that one. It's another show of betting with the bag. I had to fill in for Jimmy. We hope everything is good with his family or whatever, with personal issues. And we appreciate all you guys for tuning in. We hit that like button and follow myself and Max on Twitter. Man, we got to get out of here and let's milk these bookies. Leche, a los bookmakers.